welcome to a CakeFu special series, I guess.
Part 2.
Part 2, yeah. We've had Peggy on just recently to tell us all about the Spellbinder's sweet accents from Icing Images, and she did a really great job. We had a live classroom setting, which was really cool. And now we're going to be just one-on-one. She's going to show us some more advanced techniques of what you can accomplish with the sweet accent and with some of the dyes that we have
By Icing Images, and they're premium icing sheets.
Premium icing sheets.
And we also have iDesigns.
iDesigns,
yeah.
Okay. And iDesign, tell me about iDesigns.
iDesigns is a fantastic invention, I think, and that's what I call it, is an invention. But I know, but for years you could get icing sheets, and some of them were a little bit aggravating, some of them were a little easier to use. But premium icing sheets are phenomenal because they just tear right away from your papers, and this is one of their new lusters. I just love that. But iDesigns is a program that you can go into at icingimages.com, and you can select the patterns that you want, and you can have them done on a flat like this one is, or on a sheen, so that it has that luster. And then if you don't happen to have an edible printer at home, you can actually just have them print them for you, and they'll send them. So, and that's taking place in August. So that's an iDesign, and there's also a membership if you want to have if you have the printer at home and you just want to print them yourself. So that's fantastic, and there are over 10,000 designs. So if you're gonna go looking, make sure you have lots of time, because it's like putting us into a candy store. It's like our, here we go, this is our fix, and it's a lot of fun. So that's their premium icing sheets in iDesign. And then they got to thinking that there had to be something more that we could step over into the crafting world and get kind of in a little bit. But everything out there isn't made for our world because it's not an edible product. And so they got together with Spellbinders and decided to make a 100% food safe die cutting machine. And so that's how the sweet accents came about. And they've made the cutters a little bit deeper so that when we double our papers, they cut right through the first time. They pop out beautifully. There's different levels. And we covered a lot of that in our first video, and we gave them the opportunity to see what a classroom craziness environment was like for those that might never stepped into a classroom. But we really wanted to have the opportunity to come back and show them close up what we can do with these. And so I thank you for having me back.
Oh, not a problem.
You ready to play? This is like playing too, because anybody can do this. You don't have to worry about electricity. There's no plug-in. You can take it anywhere, and it's as simple as putting a sandwich together like we talked about. But anyway, so I have one here, and what I wanted to do for the first technique is something that's called color blocking. And so I have a white piece of paper. I have my C board, which is the cutting board, and I'm going to let you put that together. But all I'm going to do is take a little bit of dust, and this is by Sugar Art. It's a fantastic company, and I'm going to just go ahead. I have one cut. I'm going to lay it there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the second one that I want.
Fun.
It's very fun, and I have a little garbage can over here, and what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm dusting.
You're dusting the dye.
I'm dusting the dye. Yes, I am. We are going there, and watch what it does.
That is awesome.
It's just like color blocking. All right, so these are some of the techniques that we so wanted to show, so if you'll just lay that down carefully.
Okay.
And then if you put the top on, which is
out there.
Right there would be great. And then if you put the top on, which is our A plate, and that's going to make our sandwich. So it's just that easy. We have B, our premium sheet, our die cutter, and we have our top sheet.
Okay.
And you don't have to put anything, you're going to run it through it. So you're just going to twist it. And you don't have to be concerned about having to put any kind of barrier between your dies and your paper, because these are all 100% food safe. So you don't have to add anything, and she's going to cheat, she's going to pull. Yay!
Yay!
All right, now take a look at what this does when you pull that off of there. I love color blocking.
Okay.
Pull it. And here's a little pick for you.
Okay.
And the flour that she's working with, the die cutter she's working with, is actually a beginner die. And it comes in 3. We have the beginner, the intermediate.
I love how easy that one pops out.
That's a beginner. And then we have the more advanced. Is that perfect? Now flip the little edges up on it.
Oh,
you have a pick. Yeah, if you just pick those little edges up.
We want to pick the
whichever ones you would like to. It's your
Well, since
your
we
choice.
have the middle up on the other one.
On the ones? Yep.
Do that.
And see how it just left that beautiful color right on those edges? Color blocking.
That is so cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Very
And
cool.
once again, we didn't have to add anything to it because the dyes are 100% and you don't have to worry about any chipping or anything coming off of them into the food. And so that's one of the techniques we weren't able to show you the other day and get a really good close-up of.
I have a question really fast about this color blocking.
Sure.
Would it be possible to take an actual liquid paint and paint right along
Yes, you can.
the dye?
Yeah. If you wanted to highlight, good question. If you wanted to go in and highlight all of these little areas here on the butterfly, all of those, you could do that. You could also take a roller and dip it into your edible inks and roll and then just come right across it and then do it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you can do it with your powders, you can do it with your gels. Yeah, just add a little bit of vodka to it, loosen it up a little bit, and just go ahead and paint in it.
So
when
many
you think about
possibilities
doing
with that.
all the
Love
different
it.
colors, it's really fantastic. We're going to do the embossing, which really didn't have a chance to pop the other day on camera. So I'm just going to cut a couple of pieces of paper here and lay them down. And you can see that you can do multiple cuts at one time just by
multiple colors.
with multiple colors, exactly.
Ah,
So we're just making our strips and we're going to load.
that's a time saver.
Oh yeah, time is everything. And so we have this one here, because of all of the fine detail in it, is more of an advance. Now they aren't because of how hard they are. So if you go from beginner to intermediate to advanced, it's just the amount of time that it takes to remove from inside of here. So if you are a patient person, you can sit here and enjoy doing this. If you love that, that's fine. If you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of patience, then just stay with the ones that are larger for you because it's going to be a lot easier.
Awesome.
Right, so this one I want up here.
Okay.
This one I want as a solid. This little guy I want down here. I need this butterfly cut out, so he's going there. And I want these little guys over here. I laid them all out for us to go there.
Oh, lovely.
Actually, I want that one there and that one there. So if you'll pop the top onto those then,
Okay.
we're going rolling again.
Look at that.
I know.
We're going to have this all done in one roll.
One roll.
Wow. Oh, we slid a little bit.
Oh, just push him back. Sometimes they like to go visiting.
Yeah, sometimes they like to
Yeah,
move a
the
little.
side. And I actually don't have this locked down because we decided to use this pretty red tablecloth. But it has a really good suction cup up underneath it and it holds everything in place. So, we
So
don't
on a
have to worry
nice
about
sturdy
that.
table. not
Or
a-
your countertop, yeah, anywhere you want it to go. If your kid's gonna play with it, just have them set it on the floor, lock it in place, you're good to go.
Okay.
So back to the embossing, we have A down, we have our flexible little mat here, which is silicone, food grade, and we have our B plate for embossing. And so if you'll just run that through for us, you're actually going to see how it does, it indents so that everything pops and then comes back out, wasn't it? Yeah. So there we have it, we've run that through.
Okay. And
And-
do we want to flip it again?
Or you can just take it off.
Take it off.
Yep, just take it off. I'm gonna set those over
Okay,
here.
Here's your mat, your flexible
Silicone, little flexible
silicone,
mat.
yeah.
Now what I'd like you to do is just kind of take this one off over here, and when I raise this up, you can see there's little points in here, and all you have to do is just press down in them with these, and that's going to help start releasing it.
Alright.
A lot of times you can just tap it at the table, like you might just be able to tap that one on the table and it'll just pop right out.
Oh, that just popped right out.
Yep,
Anyway.
there you go.
That's a nice easy one right
Isn't
there.
it though? But
Yeah.
now see if the camera can come in, you can see where it raised this up and it embossed it. So that it's not just one flat piece. And I love that technique with it.
That is really
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of the other ones, even for our market in anything, doesn't emboss that that is the food safe.
So pretty much any die that has these little openings. In them,
Yep.
that's where it will emboss.
That's where it will emboss.
Okay,
Yep.
so for example, this one right here, it has the
all of those.
all those little lines. That's where it will cut, and anywhere there's a little hole is where
Raises
it
it
will
up.
emboss.
Yep.
If you emboss it.
If you emboss it, yeah, it's an option so that you don't have to. You get the mat with the system, so you know you have that option to go in and do that, or to leave them flat. But you know, anytime you can emboss something, why wouldn't you do that? I'm going to actually raise this up on a piece of paper so that you might be able to see it a little bit better. Let me find one that's bright. I don't care if it matches or not, I just want it to be bright where you can see it. So these pieces, staying on that same note that you mentioned, if you wanted to raise them, if you took a little dragée, all right, and you placed a dragée, and you placed it in the center of that, and then put that on top of it, you now have built those layers.
Oh,
So you get where I'm going with that.
The idea. So you put the dragée right here.
Right there.
This piece on top.
On top of it.
And you've got something standing
Stacking.
out.
Yeah, and you don't even, I mean, you can use royal icing and just make a couple of little dots and then pop that up on top. Anything that starts to build upwards. So that's one of the cool effects. And so this piece then could come right on top of this piece by doing the same thing. If we built upwards, we do that then. And actually in a little bit I'm going to be heating up some cake play isomalt, and we're going to go into the building process. But for right now I just wanted to show everybody pretty much how that system works and the process behind it.
So something right here that doesn't have all the little holes, like the little pinpoint holes, you still want to take and
you can still
kind
just
of,
ease them. You know, I'm not poking directly into it,
yeah,
I'm just
kind of
easing
at
it.
an angle, kind of press down a little bit. Not
And that's all you have to do.
trying to poke holes.
Nope. No poking of the holes, and then you can come in and just, let me see if this one will pop. There it is. See?
Oh,
It just pops.
That one just popped too. How
There you go.
nifty. There's
And-
a little bit left to go.
Yep. And then just ease it right around using the point of the,
Look at that.
is that nice? Now see there again, where we embossed it. See what it raised up?
I can see that.
It is. Yep.
It's one of those little details.
It is. It's a little detail that makes a huge difference. And I have this one then in this color, because one of the techniques, well, we're going to be building, remember, we don't care to have anything just laying. And if you want to lay it down, that's fine too. But if you have the ability to start stacking things and giving them dimension and movement, why not?
You know, this brings just so much more to an icing sheet.
An icing sheet.
Because, you know what, I have to be perfectly honest. I have not worked very much with icing sheets because I'm the purist.
Yeah.
It has to be, you know, it has to be fondant, it has to be gum paste, it has to be buttercream.
Yeah.
And, you know, or royal icing. Icing sheets don't have a place, in my opinion. You have to be, I'm such the purist.
The purist.
This
Well,
has totally changed my mind.
Thank you.
Because
Well,
it's an art.
It is an
really
art.
is.
When we can take it above the next level, it is an art. And I said in the first video that we did together with the classroom, I had stayed away from them because I have never cared for anything that was flat. If it's flat, I stayed away from it, and icing sheets were flat. And then I realized that it was only my own creativity that was limiting what I could do, because I hadn't thought about, oh my word, it could be like a piece of art if I just moved it and made it that way.
Take that and twist it.
And twist it.
dimensional.
So what I like about these is you can take and then begin to stack them.
Ooh, I love those two.
All right.
Oh.
Once again,
I'm
if
in
you,
love.
I-
That's good enough for me.
she's in love with this, not me, but she's in love with this. I'm sorry, Bobby, I'm stealing your wife to icing sheets. That's all
I
there is
love
to
you
it.
too, Peggy.
All right, once again flat, so a little something underneath to raise it up, let it dry, and then you can come back with it. So give it movement, and when these are dry, they'll actually come across and stand on top of cakes. You can attach it here and let it go. You can actually double these so that you don't see the black side to that. So if you double the sheets and run them through the cutters, and that's why the cutters are a little thick, because we like to do our sheets sometimes so that we don't see that the other backing. We want the pattern mirrored on the other side, and that also gives it a little bit more stability.
if that's true. I kind of like that the back is black.
Is the back's black.
It adds a little bit more of that, dimension. I could totally see this with a, pretty gun-faced flower.
Gorgeous.
Right,
Going right in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you not add this to stuff?
So pretty.
Think about this doing in ice malt, my world. I pour it into ice malt. I've seen a lot of other sugar artists out there now starting to pour them into it, and they're doing phenomenal pieces.
Yeah.
So the other day we were doing cards. And so I wanted to make sure that we understood how cards work because we couldn't get up close on what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so this was our base of our card. All right, and I have that with an imprint on it of gears to
And
match.
How did you do this imprint?
Well, it's a folder, an embossing folder. And,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and Icing
Okay.
Images has got this one on order coming in for us because we now have the new gears coming.
Okay, so you showed they're ones that kind of just fold
Yes.
over.
The material goes into it, it folds over. I have one here, just so that we can
This is
show
the
it.
folder.
This is the folder, the
Okay.
embossing folder. All right, and so the material goes down inside of it. Goes down inside of it. You can actually do it with or without the backing because, once again, we're food safe. All right, that would get run through. You'd pull it out and it would have all of those
That
beautiful
embossed
onto it. Yes, it would.
Perfect.
And so that's what this one was.
We did use those in
We
the
did,
last class.
yeah.
I hadn't seen this.
Well, yeah, because we couldn't give you everything.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't
know.
seen this one, and so I was like,
I know, it's like I couldn't
gotta
give you
see.
exactly.
And
So
the gears are so
the
cool.
gears are very popular too. So you can see the rivets, and you can see, and this one's been laying around on a dining room table. So, and then we have our gears that we did out of the new color that is coming out, the copper. And now this is how much this is.
that?
You just take, you place, put them out there, random. You don't even have to think about it. But now the other side is a red, and I want some of that red to pop.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to pick that up, slide it under, set this one down here, and slide this one up and over. And that's as much that you need to do. And it's just that fast.
It adds, it adds
flow.
all of that. Yeah.
It's all that flow to it. And it can be flat because we've got a little bit of lift to it. And you can actually just add a dragée or a little bit of your, not piping gel, but royal icing to give it to stand up. And then there you have a card. So now we're going to assemble this. We've heated up our isomalt. We have our dragées that are laying here. And I've already taken and started it so that it wasn't like watching paint dry while we're sitting here and you're going, oh my God. All right, so.
Didn't take that long.
Didn't take that long. So I have my base color that I've cut out. I have my top one, and now I'm going to place this one on top. So see how we're building upwards with this? And so I'm taking my dragées, I'm dip, and I'm just going to place it right on top of the other ones that I have there. Now, if you're playing with isomalt, please be aware that it is a very hot substance. It is edible, but we just want to make sure that we respect it. That's all there is to it.
So if someone's really just scared about isomalt, can they attach this a different way?
Yes, royal icing.
Really?
Royal icing because it builds, it dries. You can actually, if you're just going to lay things that are down flat a little bit and just poke the tissues under it like we showed, you can do that with piping gel, but you just have to wait for it to set.
Okay.
If you're looking for it to be done fast, the only way to do that is either with the royal icing or the
The isomalt.
isomalt.
Or what about like a gum glue?
Gum glues work,
But
yeah.
it still have to set.
It still has to set and everything, and setting is just fine. But because I'm constantly working with isomalt, I just normally grab it for my glue. I use it for everything, so it just
So don't be
is my
scared
go-to.
of it.
So don't be scared of it, and if you haven't worked with it, then by all means, just go to your royal icing, things like that, because we don't want you to run into getting a burn. And then you would just put a little bit of the isomalt or your royal icing or whatever you're using and put it there. And so you see how now when I put that up, can the camera zoom in and get that? We have now layered that. And when we put that on the sides of our cakes, it's going to just pop.
I could see, a few of these just going around the outside of a cake,
Yeah.
with your little fleur-de-lis and your drop.
With your drop
sugar
strings and all of that,
things.
yep. And you could go to one more level if you wanted to, and you could attach these that were actually going the opposite way. So we would dip, and I'm only going to do one of these because
So you can
that's all
see
you can
the
see.
idea.
Exactly. All right? And those are our little pieces that we cut out.
Yeah, those are the little negatives.
The little negatives. Oops, that negative did not want to stay.
It was being negative.
It was being negative. We're just going to dip and stick that puppy and show him who's boss. All right, and so then if you're using Isomalt, all of these little strings, they just break away. All right.
Perfect.
So how cute is that though?
I love that.
So now we're going to show you pretty much the same thing but with a butterfly. We have our back, we have our front, and I'm going to do the same thing. You can use whatever glue you would like, whatever your choice is, and I'm offsetting. See? I'm coming in and I'm offsetting a little bit.
It's a shadow.
It's a shadow. And see his back wings?
Oh.
Oh, we colored them.
I
All
love
right.
that.
So you could leave that like that, and then we just give them a little crease, and there's your butterfly that could go down onto your cake. I'm going to take it one step level. Why? Because we can. I'm going to put a little bit more down in there. I've done this one the reverse, and I'm going to set that down one more time. So we've got that. If I raise that up, get rid of all of my little strings that are here. If it was going the other way, I'd leave them as antennas. Give it a little bow, and then you could come in and use your tissues to hold that. Now on this one side, I removed all of the little pieces for you so you could see them, and on this side I left them so I could show you how easy it is to pop them out. Just fold that over
That way.
that way, so you got that?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
See them?
Those pieces just come right out.
They do. Those are those little negatives, as you call them, and they just come right on out. Just a little tool. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering where I got this little tool from, it comes in the kit. Cool.
Love that.
Gotta love that. So there you go. All of those come right on out, and they just pop. Just that easy. All right?
Love it.
So then that can go back over. And of course, we're going to take that, yes,
I love
one
how
more step.
flexible this all
It is. It's very flexible, and people think that it won't hold up and it can't stand to hold up. And I'm going to use silver dragées this time. And I like them because they're nice and big. They're a different size, and we're going to dip, and we're going to place them right down inside the center there.
Oh, so he's got a little body.
It's got a little body. Gotta love that. All right. Get that in there. It's drying. Pull that away. Now you could take a piece of notebook paper and fold it, and then just set him right down inside of it.
Okay.
That's
to
all.
let it dry.
Exactly.
And to give more movement to the rest of the wings, add in a little bit more
Of that tissues and stuff. So
tissue.
yep, just grab your tissues. I'll grab a tissue from back here, and we'll
So we
set
have
him down. Yep.
curved like this.
Yep.
And then you'd set your tissue
Tissues
down.
right down inside all of this.
Mhm.
And if you can't do that and you happen to have a piece of foam, if you'll set that up there, foam and toothpicks are our friend as well.
Oh,
So this one can go here, just angling it a little bit.
Smart.
This one goes
Clever,
in
clever.
here, just angling it a little bit as we go upwards. So you don't have to worry about anything else. And so see, you get those layers in there, just the way that you might want them to be. So
That's
toothpicks.
a great way to create your own form.
Exactly. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on a lot of things. You've got everything you need in your house, and when that dries, then you can just pop it right onto the cake. So now we're going to come in and show you how to use, yes we are, we're going there, we're going to piping gel.
Piping gel, huh?
Right onto our icing image. And I have a bag here. There it is. And I have a tip number 1 down inside of here. There's a small brush that's over here.
Okay.
And I have a toothpick. I also have my pick.
Okay, so now you're going to show us some piping gel.
We're going to use piping gel, and we're going to do brush embroidery with it. Normally you might do royal icing with it, but we're going to use piping gel on it because people don't think that you can use piping gel to do brush embroidery, and it is just gorgeous. So instead of doing a line going all the way around, I'm actually going to do little dots. And it was a friend of mine who's also a sugar artist who taught me this, which is Kathleen Lane. And I just absolutely love the look of it.
It makes it just, glossy and pretty.
It does, and I'm just going to move that a little bit so I can come around and finish those little dots coming inwards. And then normally you would take a brush and use a brush. I'm going to use the back of my, and I'm just going to pull it.
Very cool. So you could do this in a clear finish if you'd like.
You could. We couldn't do it for the camera because it wouldn't show up.
Okay.
You can also use your brush if you want a little bit of a lighter effect into that. And just get that brush embroidery down inside of there.
Very cool.
So it's just a little bit of a difference, and you can come back and you can use your gels, and it's not going to hurt your sheet. It's not going to dissolve your sheet at all, and you can just pipe right on over it.
That's a great way to add a little bit, you know, extra.
Extra.
A little bit extra.
And at that point, if you wanted to use some of the edible glitters, or the non-edible, if you want, they are non-toxic, of course, and they enter the system a different way. But use the ones that are available that are edible,
Awesome.
and then you've got that there. You can also use it as your nice glue. So I'm going to go right over that.
Oh, there you go. Ruin all your pretty work.
Ruin all the pretty work that you just did. But I love coordinating and I love building upwards, and so that would be that. And then you could come back and just put a little dragé into the center of it, and you're good to go.
Well, and you showed in the class that you could actually take these sheets, and you can take a ball tool and actually roll them.
You sure can.
So that they actually have the movement and stuff that you would see in gum paste.
In gum paste.
So that would be a really good time right here.
Right here, you could. And so I'm going to use the back of this because I don't have the ball tool, but it'll turn it.
Very cool.
All right. And yes, this is an icing sheet that I have in my hand. We have not moved over and used gum paste on it, so we're not trying to fool you or anything. It truly is an icing sheet. And you can see how you can get them to pop.
Yeah, and it just curves them right.
I have another die here, and I love how it has the embossing on it, so I wanted you to see that.
That is so pretty.
And it's just a little fan.
Lift that up.
Lift that up.
Whoop.
Whoop, and it goes visiting the bottom. So we'll just move it back up. There we go.
So pretty. I hope you can see
the detail that is actually down inside of there. So with this, where this little detail comes across up in here, if you wanted to come through there with a little bit of your royal icing that you have added a color to it, a little pearl, how pretty would that be?
That would be gorgeous.
All right, and then you can actually roll those and attach them to the cake like that.
Ooh.
So they're not, once again, nothing flat. All right, you can take these and build flowers with them.
Oh, I could totally see that.
I know you could. The moment I said it, she would catch that.
Yep.
All right. All right. So with these then, I'm going to use a little bit of my isomalt, and I hope that it's still warm enough to do that. I think it should be. I'm actually just going to put a little bit on the edges.
You know what would be really cool with this? You'd have to get a few dies, I think, of this one. But to do a ruffle cake with that.
Oh, they're gorgeous. I can show you ruffles.
That'd be beautiful.
Without even having to, all right. So you would sandwich those together. And then I'm just going to pop that open in there. Now look what you have.
We've got a little pocket.
It's a little pocket. What would you put out of that pocket?
Oh, some little tiny gum paste flowers would be really pretty.
Would be super, super cute coming up out of there. I'm going to set that down right there. And I'm going to reach over and get the scroll work that we worked on. And put that down there. Move my tissues.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
And of course we would have different colors, but we're just playing here.
I like
all
those
the different
colors.
Designs and stuff.
I like the
All right.
colors.
Look at there. Look at what I mean, you just
love
kind of
that.
and you could have a little of the flower coming up. So very cute.
That is really cool.
That's as easy as that. So the other thing I want to show you was that you can use your die right on gum paste. So what I've done is I rolled out a piece of gum paste just a little earlier.
It's really pretty thin.
It is
To
thin.
make sure it's thin enough
Right,
that it'll fit into.
for the die cutter. And so you can just run it up there, you can feel it catches it. And that's the
Okay.
little edge on this side that is catching.
Okay.
All right. And so we've got lots of colors running through mine because I have been working, and so I have my fingers there. So you will actually just place your die cutter on your cutting board with your gum paste, set this down on top, roll it through the machine, and when it comes out, it's just going to be like you just cut it. And then I'm just gonna press it here just so that they can see the cut marks and that the blue will be there.
Oh, there you go, because you still have the blue from this.
From when we embossed it. And it will go right on through.
Very cool.
So you can use it with your gum paste. I'm just gonna pop it. See, it'll just come right out with me, even only just pressing it in like you would do normal. The gum paste that I was using was actually Choco Pan, and I really like the brand of Choco Pan of the gum paste. And just roll it thin and you can put it through. And so once again, you would use a little bit of your gum glue if you choose to. These go in and get offset. That would come up, and you've now built another little flower.
Very cool. I love that.
Yes. If you build two of those and put them together, you've now got all sides.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you were to build two of these
Back
and put them back to back, you've now got a complete flower.
wow, I like that.
I like that too. Once you get it layered and set, there you go, and the petals will stay for you.
Awesome. I love that.
I do too, and you can actually put double them, so you would have two petals on this side, two on the other side, and it would go all the way around.
Nice and dimensional.
Nice and dimensional, all the way.
that.
Love that too.
You could stand it right up on top of a cupcake.
Exactly, you
Isn't that
could.
cute?
And the easiest thing to do is use your toothpicks right between the two, your glue,
Glue it together.
glue it together. It's
There you
going to
go.
stay, and you don't have to worry about the humidity once it goes. It holds very well once it has set.
Good.
Yeah. And then think about the gorgeous things you could possibly do to the center of that. What comes to mind?
I think of, those molds that you can actually press and they look like little jewels.
Oh, the jewels.
Yeah.
That would
Like
be
with-
gorgeous
with,
in there.
With Isomalt or with the fondant.
Either of
Make
those.
some nice little
What about a
jewel
little
centers.
button?
Oh, a button would be
For a
really
little girl's
cute.
birthday
Oh,
party, a little button would be
absolutely.
super cute in that.
Yeah.
So it's as easy as that. Once again, as you can see, the two of us is sitting here playing. It's what your imagination
Oh, yeah.
will let you go to.
So many.
I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get a premium sheet that has the luster on it. This is their new luster, and I love the way this sounds. It's like, rip it off.
Rip,
I'm going to
rip,
set
rip.
this over there. And I'm actually just going to take my scissors and cut a couple of strips, because I want to show you that, yes, you can ruffle these sheets. I'm going to let you have that one.
Okay.
Yep, we're going to ruffle them. I'm going to take this one, and all we're going to do is start at the bottom and pleat, and the bottom and pleat. And then continue doing that. I'm going to turn mine, maybe the camera can get that, and pleat.
Oh, I love this.
Get the top out, pleat, and just completely bring it in together. Look at that ruffle. I know, put yours down,
Go.
so we can turn it that way
Alright.
towards the camera.
See that?
See those little ruffles? Look how gorgeous that is. Now, do that,
Beautiful.
and then you come across with another flower on top of it. So you
Mhm.
don't see, they will crease, you can probably see that right there. This side here isn't creasing. I'm gonna move that down so maybe the camera can get it. This is staying nice and round, but what is creasing is right down in here. And so that's a spot that we would come in and we would either double layer it. This, so we're doing a fan effect
That would be beautiful.
going around a cake.
Oh.
I know, absolutely stunning.
Even if you just had, I could see, a nice little swag ruffle that goes
Down the front of a cake,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be gorgeous.
And so I just set
And
that
a
there.
butterfly
A butterfly,
at the
why? Well,
end.
butterfly seems to be the big
Aw.
thing for the last couple of years, and I just
Yes.
had one laying here, so we popped it right in there.
I love
So,
that.
icing sheets.
Maybe we should turn
will
this
ruffle.
a little bit so
Do
that
we?
the camera
Can we
can
turn
see
that?
it.
And I'm gonna press that really hard, and maybe that will just stay for me. So can
Oh,
you
I
actually
love
see
that.
that? Do I need to raise it up a little bit or anything? Great. Do you ever think you could ruffle icing sheets?
No.
Exactly,
To me,
but you
icing
can.
sheets were
Well,
you wrap a cake.
This amazed me because I was playing around and working with it, and I was just sitting and going like this, and I built this cake, and I took a photo of it, and I sent it to Deb, who owns Icing Images and these premium sheets, and I said, what do you think? And she said, what's it made out of? And I said, well, it's your premium icing sheets, and she said, no way. Now, for like half an hour, she's texting me wanting to know how I got her icing sheets to do that. I said, well, it's just kind of pick it
I
up and
just
pinch
ruffled it.
pinch it. That's all you have to do. So, we're always teaching each
That is-
other.
That is
So that's what I pretty much wanted to show you. Little techniques, little things. Please remember, you can pipe on it, you can do string work on it, you can use isomalt on it, use your piping gel on it, royal icing on it. Just come outside of the box of thinking they're icing sheets, they're flat, because they no longer are. They're amazing to play with.
I am so excited about that. I mean, this is a
whole new thing. We are taking scrapbooking right into our caking, and a lot of us have always done that in different areas, but this really does just take that to another level. Because if we play, we learn.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys learned something and want to share, we're all ears.
By all means. And if you're building something with their product, shoot it to them. They love to get it because they will put it all over Facebook. They will advertise it. They love seeing what others are creating with their products.
Absolutely. Send them to us too.
Yeah, we need to share with CakeFu. We have to keep everybody in the loop. So once again, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to showing them, being able to show them up close the details that we missed in class the other day.
Yes.
I greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this.
Always.
You guys go, enjoy, have fun, play with it. I know I am.
You want to borrow mine for a day or two?
No, I bought one.
You bought one?
I bought one.
Woo-hoo, girl.
I had to have one.
She's on top of it, so now we will see Amelia's cakes out there, and she's going to be doing ruffles and yeah. And the other thing is, let your kids play with it.
Oh yeah.
It's completely safe. No electricity, and you're good to go.
These would make really cool cookie decorations too. I mean,
Love
cookie
that
decoration
idea.
is such a big thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Easy. All right. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, love.
Thank